Couple of stocks moving higher. They're on the ticker team for your viewership. But Neuland Labs, that is the stock on our radar. The company's second unit in Sangareddy district cleared by USFDA's inspection with no observations. To discuss this and more, we have Suchet Rao, the Vice Chairman and CEO of the company, joining in. Thanks a lot, Suchet, for joining in. Before we talk about the USFDA approval or inspection in your plant, just a thing about the raw material prices, because in the previous quarter, while your revenues grew to around 169 odd crore rupees, it was your margins which fell. That's primarily on account of higher raw material prices coming in from China. So could you give us an update as to the shipments in the third quarter? Have they come in at revised prices? And in that regard, what kind of margins can we expect?
No, I think the raw material prices owe their volatility to two aspects. One is the crude oil prices, which essentially impacts the solvent prices, which is overall about 15 to 20% of our cost. And then you have the overall situation in China with plant closures and general constraint in supplies, which also impacts the pricing. So I would say that because of the softening of the crude oil prices, we're definitely seeing a downtrend in the price of solvents and other materials. However, as far as the other materials are concerned, which are more because of either factories being shut down or general government policy, we haven't seen much movement on that side, though we expect to see some kind of a relief in the next 6 to 12 months.
All right, so Chet, give us a few details. 169 crores, well, that was the bright spot. And otherwise, the numbers are looking quite weak. What kind of a revenue run rate can you maintain on a quarterly basis? That's point number one. And also, have your revised supplies that are leaving your plant, are they going at revised rates for quarter three in comparison to quarter two?
So to be honest, you're absolutely right in terms of the sales looking robust. But obviously, our margins are under pressure because of the volatility of raw material prices, so on and so forth.
Yes.
However, one of the reasons why we don't give any guidance on our numbers is because several of our businesses, especially the CMS business, though it's a very high potential business, it's still in the early stages.
Right.
And it can be absolutely volatile from quarter to quarter. So one of the reasons why we stay away from giving a guidance is because until the business matures and gets to a stable revenue line, it'll be almost impossible to give any kind of a stable guidance.
Right. Suchet, you spoke about the CMS business, so let's take it off from there itself.
Sure.
It was down about 51% in the previous quarter, year on year. That's perhaps because we understand some orders were shifted to this quarter. How much does it account for in your overall scheme of things? When does it go back to the upwards of 10% mark in terms of your revenue?
Well, usually we expect our CMS business to be around 20 to 25% of our overall sales. Having said that, if you look at the total number of projects in the pipeline, and this is information that we share on a quarterly basis, the number of projects are actually going up. However, the revenues as well as the profitability from the CMS business can be volatile, either because of the timelines of the customer, the nature of that specific project. And like I said earlier, it's a growing business, and therefore, it can be volatile from a quarter to quarter.
So the number of projects are going up. By the end of this year, do you believe that it'll go back to that, the 25% mark that you're talking about? I remember it had gone to around 15-16% a couple of years ago. So by the end of this year, can we see it go back towards that 15-20% mark as a contribution of sales?
Absolutely. We've seen it go to 25% as a contribution overall.
So when does it go back to 25%? Currently, I believe it's less than 10%.
Yes, and that will change from quarter to quarter, but our overall goal is for it to reach 25% and even exceed that in the long run.
That's the higher margin business, isn't it?
That's correct.
So will there be a bit of a tailwind coming in for your margins because they're coming down to single digits? One is that crude oil prices have cooled down, so intermediary cost will go down. And the second factor is that, in fact, CMS business, if it contributes more, that should help margins as well.
Absolutely, and that's our goal. And like I was saying earlier, given the short-term trends of the business, we haven't changed any projections or our own forecast for the long-term of the business, whether it's margin from the CMS business or overall EBITDA margins. We continue to maintain them. We are absolutely,
So what number are you targeting? You're talking about your long-term goal. Is there anywhere between, say, upwards of 10%, 11%, 12%? What is that number that you're targeting, or perhaps a broad range?
So So, guys, like I said, I cannot give you a guidance just given where the business is.
Okay.
And it is what it is.
All right. So, Teva had got the approval of Ostido, if I got that right. Is there any business coming in from there? Are you all supplying some API out there?
Well, as I've mentioned earlier, I think all our projects are protected by non-disclosure agreements, so we're not at a liberty to discuss the projects.
All right. So let's. So you can't disclose any number of that as well. Is there any business or not? No business is coming in from this drug that Teva got approval for.
We cannot discuss that.
Okay, but would it be one of your clients then?
Yeah, Teva is one
of our clients. Great. Let's focus on the big drug, and that's the trigger that everyone's been waiting for the last 1 year or 1.5 years or so. Mylan, they are likely to get the approval for Advair at any point of time. If they do get that drug, since it's not yet come about, if they get that approval, does it benefit Neuland Laboratories?
Unfortunately, I can't comment on that either.
But you could be a potential beneficiary because you make salmeterol, I think.
That's correct.
So you make salmeterol, and salmeterol would be one of the APIs that would be required, one of the molecules that would be required for Advair. So the read-through for the street would be Neuland Laboratories could be a potential beneficiary if, in fact, this approval comes in for Advair.
Well, being one of the key suppliers for salmeterol, we sell it to a number of our customers. Yeah. And we do expect that several of our customers will get their approvals given their regulatory filing timelines and review process.
And what's the debt on your books right now?
Yeah, because if these approvals don't come through, then you may run into a debt trap, isn't it?
Not really, because if you look at our debt-equity ratio today, it's less than 0.35.
What is the debt in the books?
Our long-term debt is less than 80 crores.
Less than 80 crores? It's not 180 crores?
No, it's not.
So you'll have reduced debt in the last couple of years?
Yes, we actually did a QIP.
That was 100 crores.
Debt. Yeah, it's about 125 crores. So we're very comfortable. So our debt equity is pretty low.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much, Sushil, for joining and giving us those details. We'll wait by whether or not some of those long-awaited triggers do play out.